I'm the Dollar Sportsman. Thank you for watching. I have got the Komplete 22 cal nitro powered budget air gun, sub 200, and we're going to test today if SLUGS will work out of this budget friendly air gun at all. Let's find out. A very special thank you to Utah Airguns for sponsoring our channel. We love those guys. They are right over there. I wish I were filming in there today because it is blazing hot out here. But they only have a 35-yard shooting range for now. Very, very soon, they're gonna have 100 yards at their new store. And you have got to check that out. As soon as it is ready to go, it's gonna be super fun, guys. So be looking forward to that. I have distance out here, but it is blazing hot outside. And so when it's raining, or cold, or overly hot, you can check out Utah Airguns and go shoot at their house. UtahAirguns.com if you need any slugs as well that we are using here today. Speaking of slugs, a very special thank you to Zan Projectiles for sponsoring our channel here. They make really good slugs and we're gonna use them today. We're gonna test them. We have got 217, we got 218, because they make a sample box that you can use for your airgun testing to find out what specifically is gonna work for you. So check them out, ZanProjectiles.com. You can pick them up direct from their website, or from Utah Airguns. There you go. This is the Komplete. We did a test of this a year ago, and I was very impressed with how much power we were getting out of it. This year, I've got another one because I sent that last one back. They didn't have many at the time, so we were passing it around to review it. I've got a new one today. I've got some new nitro. If you don't know, these are nitro powered. These are not CO2. Nitro gas right out of the front of this, which is way more powerful than CO2. And that's advantageous for hunting. So I've got this set up for hunting purposes today. You'll notice I do not have the stock scope. You can use that scope. I've used it before and it's fine, but I put the budget-friendly new generation element helix on this as I'm continuing my testing with it. We're gonna see how that does today. And I've got this set up for hunting. Now it is very lightweight to begin with, and then I strapped extra stuff on it. So I've got my bipod that I won from Armac. Super snazzy 80s design on that from AccuTac, which is a very heavy bipod, by the way. So you're gonna have to decide for yourself if you want that on a budget lightweight gun. And I also have this sling right here. So this sling is actually a military sling. It is for firearms, but my buddies over there decided they wanted me to show the sling in action. So the idea behind this sling is that it comes with all sorts of sections here. And you can use that to your advantage. Now I'm a southpaw, so I'm gonna flip this over here. You can put this around you and then have your gun hang. If you can see, I'll back up here. You can have it hang down in front of you, which is pretty cool. And then when you need it, you're ready to go just like that, and you're on target. So that's pretty neat. I can just have it hanging flat, hanging to my side. They designed it that way. They wanted me to test it out. So I said, yeah, I'll try it on one of my videos where I'm doing a hunting oriented air gun. One thing that I did learn though is this front piece for the Komplete that goes over the bottle, the side that I have it wrapped through here, if you can see that, I have it wrapped right here and that's barely enough room to get the bottle across. You can't put anything else in these slots because it'll get in the way if you put like M-lock or something in there. Gets in the way of the bottle. So I put my bipod adapter on the bottom, which does not get in the way of the bottle, but I was able to put my sling adapter right here. Now this particular sling system is designed so that you could put it around the barrel. I don't recommend that with an air gun. It's gonna throw off your point of aim and you don't wanna do that. So that worked pretty well. The one thing is that it being blazing hot out here, some of the plastic on the Komplete has shifted a bit. And so this particular piece doesn't lock anymore. Because it's so blazing hot. And so you just have to keep that in mind if you're gonna be carrying it like this on the sling. If I completely, wrap this around, actually like that kind of works, but if I were to just throw this on my shoulder, then it wouldn't work as well because that top piece is gonna come off, see, like that. So keep that in mind. I could have put it right here in this M-lock slot instead, and that would have worked out well for the sling. For this particular setup. Bear that in mind. This sling is pretty cool. It is very hefty. It is easy to install and it comes with a few different adapters so you can put it on whatever kind of gun you've got. But I told them I'd review it. I'm not getting paid for the review or anything like that, but they did give me the sling so I could test it and see how it does. And it works. It's a good sling. You can use it like a normal sling, and then it's just a normal sling. But the fact that it can hang straight down is kind of cool. So you can just leave it hanging and you're good to go. So there's that. Check it out, there's a link if you need a sling. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna test a bunch of different slug weights in 217 caliber, 218 caliber. They're both 22, but slightly different diameter. And we are going to see what works out of the Komplete, if it works at all. So we're gonna find out together today, see what works best at 50 yards, and then if it works well enough, we'll try 75 and see if we can get any shots, headshots on a prairie dog sized target. So here we go. So a bit of a post-shoot edit. It is extremely hot and 3 of the 4 cameras that I brought out here overheated, which means I'm gonna try to cobble it all together and show you the results as best as I can. I'm not even sure how much I actually caught because they were overheating while I was shooting. So we'll check it out, we'll see how we did. Hope I can show you some footage through the Element because that is a pretty cool budget-friendly scope and pretty good upgrade from their last iteration. So let's see what we can do. Again, I apologize, I got 4 different cameras. I'll get it all together and see what we can produce. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here. All right. Okay, first we're gonna sight this in. I've got 23 grain Zans for the time being. Good. There we go, now we're on. 763.5 with the light slugs. Table is too hot to touch, so I've got my jacket here that I keep in my vehicle so that I can actually put my elbows on the table. It is a hot day. Okay, let's go for a group. 23 grain Zans, 50 yards from the muzzle. Top left corner. $764.6. Wow. 762.9. 764.1. Flyer. 762.8. Not bad. 762.7, extremely consistent on the speed. 763.4. I pulled that one and I knew it. 761.9. 763.6. And back where we originally were. 760.4, not bad at all. So a few were inconsistent. So that was a 217. Now let's try the 218. 760.2. Whoa. 759.9. Wind just picked up. Slight variation due to the wind. 759.9, extremely consistent. Major flyer. Yeah. 757.9. All over. All right, so it doesn't like the 218s, at least in 20 grain, 23 grain. Let's try 20 grain 217s. Okay, here we go. Where is that going? 802.6. Oh, we're way over to the right. We'll use that, that's fine. 800. For a budget air gun, 2-inch max, 1.5 at 50 yards actually isn't bad. This is 1.5 as well. Not too bad. 218 though, at least in 23 grain. We'll try some others. 218 grain in 20 grain, 218 caliber, sorry. 218 caliber, 217 caliber, 217 caliber. We'll try the 218s in 20 grain and see how they do. Let's get to it. Okay, our previous camera's overheated, so we're going with this now. It's extremely hot out here. Even the slugs are hot, which actually may cause some swelling problems. So we'll see. Wind is picked up pretty consistently behind me. We'll see how that plays. Even my scope cam is overheated. So we're just gonna take that off. 20 grain 218. 805.7. 799.9. 794.7, we're starting to come down, I think. Need some more gas. You see how they're dropping? 788.1. All right, we'll put a new gas can in. Not bad though. To degas, use that little thing right here. There we go. Make sure it's nice and tight on there. Slip this off. Take the old bottle off. Stick a new one on, and there it goes. Pressurized again. How simple is that? All right, we've got the 25 grain 217s now. Let's see how they do and how fast they're going. My guess is that that's going to be about the limit for this gun. We'll go top left. 742.7. Same hole. 744.8. 741.7, 741.3, okay, not too shabby. There are a couple that are out. 217, 25 grain. Now this is 218, 25 grain. Go for the right target. 739.1. 736.6. Flyer. Dang. 735.8. Now that's interesting. We had 3 separate groups, but they were all really tight. Very interesting indeed. Scope is tight. 734.4. It's starting to come down a little bit. Not too bad. So, 1.5 inches for a sub 200 air gun at 50 yards isn't bad. But I want to test it against pellets as a standard test, and then we're going to try the knockout slugs as well, just to try a different brand and see how they do. Okay, here's our pellet control group. These are standard Hades pellets, 15.9 grain. They'll be going much faster. Okay, I'm gonna aim for the bottom left target with these. We'll see where they hit. There we go. 889. 886. Whoa. 875. 885. 884.8. Okay, that's interesting. I had one crazy flyer and then a 2-inch group. So, not sure if it even likes those. So now we'll do the knockouts and see how those go. Because it looks like 217 slugs are going to be more consistent even than the pellets. Shoot, where are those? Ah, there it is. Okay. 738.5. We're still up high. There we are. 735.9. Okay, we're over to the left. Okay, let's try a few more of those. A little low still. There we are. All right, let's bring it over. All right, let's go with the group right there. So I didn't like those as much either. All right. Last test, 28 grain big boys. Oh, those are hot. Good heavens. We're gonna try the 28 grain 217s and see how they do. I expect these to drop quite a bit. They're probably gonna be pretty slow. So I'm gonna aim for that center area under in the bottom, the only clean area we've got left here. There it is. All right, let's make a group, 709. Not bad. Good, 708.2. 706.9. It's working its way up a little, 712.5. Okay guys, overheated. These were the knockouts. We had some over here randomly, and then there was another group down here. The 217s consistently did well. 1.5-inch group, 1.5-inch group, even with the heavies. And then the 218s it did not like. They were 3 separate groups. Tight, but 3 separate groups, right? And then the pellets actually were wider. So the slugs seem to perform better than even the pellets this time around, which is pretty neat. We're gonna try for 75 yards on a prairie dog and see how it does. All right, I've loaded the 25.5 grain Zans. We're gonna go for 75 yards on the prairie dog. I'm gonna go ahead and estimate that this is gonna need a hold. Okay, I'm gonna estimate a 1.6 hold. We'll see how it does, not sure. Here we go, 75 yards on the prairie dog. All right, I'll go for a head. There it is, impact. Little on the right. We'll make an adjustment. Or next shot, we'll see. Next shot, perfect. Okay, well, let's bring it up. 0.8 mils. So that was a 2.5 mil. Yeah, we missed. There it is. Okay, so maybe a 7.3. Yeah, 7.3. Impact, dang. Wow. That was an amazing group. And I'm out. Dang. It was better group at 75 yards than it was at 50. Crazy and awesome. 75 yards with this. Now granted, they are going slow, so you're not going to want to shoot particularly large animals. But out to 75 yards, that's a pretty epic group right there with the Zan 25.5 grain slugs out of this little nitro powered brilliance right here, the Komplete. So yeah, very impressed. So I think what we found out is that 1.5 inches is what you're going to expect at 50 yards. Now, that's not as good as I would like to see. I'd like to see 1 inch, but at 75 yards, we had a very consistent group. So I think if you're gonna wanna shoot slugs, you may wanna go for more distance rather than less. Or, I don't know, there might be some sort of weird zone there where it's good up to maybe 35 yards and then it gets good again out to distance. Slugs do that. It's kind of odd, actually, where slugs will be pretty consistently grouped, even the further you go, to an extent. Pellets don't do that. Pellets just get wider and wider. So, very impressed with that group at 75 yards. I will say that it is exceptionally hot out here today, and that may have impacted some of the group sizes as well, because metal expands when it's hot. So the 218s did not work well. I can't tell you if that was due to the heat or due to just them, but the 217s, regardless, worked well. 25.5 grains going 734, 735. Very consistent on the regulator as well, which is exceptionally impressive given the fact that this is a sub 200 air gun using nitro power. It's like 2 feet per second on average, which is unheard of. I mean, frankly, I'm impressed by that. So the other thing that I would say is that I'd like to try 100, but I'm about out of nitro now. You do run out after about 45 shots, so you do have to keep that into consideration. If you're gonna be hunting with this, no problem. But if you want to plink all day, you're gonna wanna go with a PCP. So in terms of accuracy though and power, I'm still very impressed that this thing could handle slugs as well as it did. Now again, 1.5 inches at 50 yards. You gotta determine for yourself, is that going to be accurate enough for what you intend to do? 1 inch at 75 yards. Dang. Yeah, very impressed. Very impressed. I'm the Dollar Sportsman. Thank you guys for watching. This is the first time that I have been kind of meh about the 50-yard performance and really impressed by the 75. Doesn't happen often. So, if ever. Very, very cool. I'm about out of nitro now, so I'm not going to take any more shots, but holy crap. Yeah, I really like that prairie dog target. That's pretty cool. For a sub 200 gun, guys, it doesn't get much better, which is just frankly amazing. So if you want to have a good hunting gun that'll get you to distance, again, 50 yards, I'm not sure. If you can hit your target within 1.5 inches, then great. It will work well for you. One thing is, we could have tried this on a bag. It is possible the bipod adds some bounce to it. We did see a little bit of that. Not sure, it shouldn't, given the power level, but we could try it again on a bag and see. You can try it on a bag and see for yourself. But in the meantime, I'd also recommend not shooting when it's freaking hot out here, because it is freaking hot out here. And yet, I'm still glad to be out here for you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Umarex, for sending this out to try with slugs. Relatively well, exceptionally well at 75 yards. Again, sub 200. All right, I'll quit talking. Love you guys. See you next time.